Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Boy, do I have something interesting to share with you today. I was talking to my buddy Dave Swanson, who has a place on Cayuga Lake, and he's retired now, so he's taking his time and really experimenting with fishing for lake trout and rainbow trout. And for ages, for the last few years, the way he's done it is he's trolled with downriggers and planer boards and all kinds of stuff. It's not really my thing, but for a lot of people, they love the gadgetry. They love the technology that's involved in today's fishing. But Dave, one of the guys that lived near him, came to him and he said, I catch my lake trout by jigging. And so Dave started to go out and try to experiment with jigging. And what we mean by that is he would take a jig head, a lead head jig head. He uses a plastic paddle tail that he actually molds and makes in 4-inch size and gets over 85 to 100 feet of water and then drops it to the bottom. That's what he does. You drop it to the bottom. You don't really jig it. If you jig it, he said, he doesn't have luck. But once it gets to the bottom, he starts to reel it straight up. And this is a technique that's been proven all over the continent by especially Native Americans that are guides in different areas to fish for lake trout. And so what helps him also is he has screens to watch all this happening. So as the lure goes down, he can watch it all the way down. And then he will see the fish see it and start to respond. And he says a lot of times it'll get like 20 feet from the bottom and they see it and they start coming up from it. So that's 20 feet away. What this tells us is how far fish can see baits. And this has got to be very dark down there at 100 feet of water. They can see baits a long ways away and they'll start coming up for it. And he can see this way what colors work best. He says one day, one color will work. They'll come up and they'll look at it, but they won't strike. Or they might come up and turn around. And then if you get just the right color, bam, they start to hit. And he has been catching a lot of fish. In fact, I talked to him a couple days ago, and he said, by the way, I got 17 fish yesterday. And Dave is never one to exaggerate. So this is interesting. But here's why I'm telling you all this. Because we can learn so much from what he's doing. He said even the style of the jig head, the way the tie-on is designed, whether it's at a 90-degree angle, which would be straight up, or a 45-degree angle, which would make it swim more like something swimming. He says actually the 90-degree angle, which causes the jig to be in a lateral plane, is the way they tend to hit it the most. It's funny, but that's what they're used to seeing, I guess, when minnows are swimming laterally. Most of the time, minnows aren't swimming up and down. So that was something really interesting. Also, the length of the bait. If the jig isn't the right length, and each day it might vary. If they're oriented towards a smaller school of bait, then they'll want a smaller jig. If they have been oriented towards bigger food, then they'll hit the bigger bait. So there is so much that has come out of this. The most important thing to me is, boy, it just reinforces some of the things I've been thinking about. How does color really affect the fish? How does presentation affect the fish? And it does. It does incredibly. So I think as the days go on, Dave is learning more and more. And we'll actually be doing a video together where we'll talk about it and show the lures and baits. But for now, at least I can give you this information. So hopefully it'll help you as well. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.